Alright, with our new shiny and purple equipment, let's proceed to the next, the Forest Kingdom of Tyto.
What an interesting owl simulator this is.
I know, right?
Honestly, I'm surprised we don't have an owl simulator game.
Give it time. Warner Bros. Pedro, I guess.
Do we have a black sheep simulator?
There's Goat Simulator, that's the closest you get, I guess.
Roost in the hollows of these verdant towers, cozy shelters amidst the leafy bowers. Game is here aplenty, but fearsome predators too.
Get on with it before I eject you.
So often.
Yeah, close enough.
Excerpt
There.
from a gazetteer.
I mean, yeah, that shows how much I think of your poetry.
This forest is just so vast. How are we ever supposed to... Wait a second. See those owls? They look like they could be pure ones. We have to hide ourselves before they spot us.
No, I have a better idea. Let's
We
follow
fight
them.
Are you
and
No.
follow.
Yeah, we need to just follow him
There's
for the
no
time
way
being.
we can take on these pure ones by ourselves.
It won't
All
come
right,
to
then.
that if we're careful. We might discover some
So,
valuable
stealth
information,
mission.
and in any event,
Basically, it's the
a
classic
challenge.
kind of mission that you see
I have a
popped up
bad
for
feeling
games of
about
this
this.
generation of stalk
Soren
these
said that his
characters.
home in Tyto was
And
destroyed,
don't lose
but
sight of them
something
or you
must
lose the
remain of
mission.
forest.
Basically.
Search what remains of Tyto Forest for evidence.
You know,
of the
it's
pure ones.
interesting
Gather
how a lot of
information and
tie-in
see what
games
you can
seem to
discover. I'm
recycle a
betting
lot
that
of
the
this stuff,
locals
even
might have
for
some insight into
stories
what
based
they're
off of
up to.
vastly different plots.
Let's
Like,
go.
is
It's not
there like a
necessary-
convention for this sort of stuff?
It's not necessarily just tie-in games. Basically, major open world kind of games, like say Infamous, Prototype, and to an extent Sly did did that in the PS2 era, but not as as refined in terms of formula as this. But those kind of open world games did start introducing this kind of stalking mission, but it was stuff like Assassin's Creed who basically started running wild. So every major game that had that kind of structure, started following suit in that. Like even the Arkham Batman Arkham game, for example. This was just an example for an aerial, combat version of that.
Of course.
Well, I don't mind, although this particular section, not this one, sorry, but this particular set of missions contain also probably the most infuriating one in the game. So, and again, the game is fairly manageable for the most part, like he said. It's just that it just has this one mission that can make you potentially rage quit. It's not on the level of the final mission in 4 God of Thunder, thank fuck, but it's still like a steep wall compared to what you're beyond now so far. There's a clear shift in terms of the difficulty spike.
Yes.
Also, James, I forgot. I already mentioned, but again, James Arnold Taylor trying to do like an Australian accent is so weird.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes. I mean, it's not even like an impression. It's literally just an accent. The poor guy is normally typecast to just, voicing mostly normal English without any particular major accents. Okay, there's something I also didn't explain much. Again, how much speed do you might get outside of a wind current, like I just demonstrated. Your starting speed kind of sucks. If you let your owl go normally, eventually you will gain speed enough. But if you perform instead these diving moves, again the diving and then going back, you don't not only just gain altitude, but you also gain speed. And as a showcase, I think it was in the first part already, if not in the second. You also do get a trophy if you manage to reach the top speed without using the air current. So again, the game does incentivize you to experiment a bit with the mechanics that are given to you.
Look, there's a bunch of Tytos locked up over there. See? It was worth it.
There's a reason why Ezreal put me in charge.
You got lucky this time.
There's no escape now.
Oh shit. Alright, fight time.
Look out! The pure ones are coming.
Oh, but we have reinforcements. Thankfully.
Just point me to a target and I'll handle the rest.
Again, this is also where you start to introduce pure ones that do have armor, meaning that you need to use the triangle move to actually bash it out and actually give you an opening or to actually strike. Otherwise, your attack will just, be deflected basically upon them. Actually, I can. Also, what is this music actually? Jesus. Again, I like it for the most part, the soundtrack, but sometimes it has weird tracks put in there. And yes, like I said in the previous part, Jova, the soaring the eagle actually sticks out with your, sticks with you as one of your wingmen. So at the very least, he goes around, even though, again, it doesn't have that much presence in the story after this chapter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a bit more lore-wise than what the movie does, because if I recall correctly, it's like in this particular chapter or in the next one, they introduced something that in the movie wasn't there but was in the book. So again, it shows that, Chrome Studios did their homework in trying to, put something with content in it, or at least something that will give you an experience, even if you have watched the movie. But it's still, a rather simple tie-in game that, again, probably should have been sold for $60.
Consider it done, my friend.
Well done.
There we go. There we go, the one I just mentioned, the armor break. Of course, these early enemies, of course, will be easier to crack, will be just like one scale, but others will, especially in the late game, will be fully armored, so will need to perform correctly the correct maneuver. And the game will also find ways.
Shattered.
Yeah, the game will also find ways to not have you spam the same attacks over and over. So again, it will also keep your attention in mind. Instead of, just mindlessly button mashing.
We need to get out of here before any more pure ones appear.
I think that's Jennifer Hale, actually. Let me see.
We're free, thank Glux.
I owe you one, sport.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I forgot if I mentioned, if you press like X when there's no prompt in that, you will have your house hooting, and apparently you do get a trophy if you hoot like 100 times or something. It's weird.
Cute.
Also, yeah, so that was Jennifer Hale.
Thank you, Guardian.
Of course.
Everyone is free.
As
There's no
Bryony.
time to waste. We need to get to our headquarters.
She does a good Australian accent.
I mean, Jennifer Hale has been voicing literally everything on the place of the planet. She's basically the female Steve Blum, so I'm pretty confident she can pull accents.
Yeah. Now, come to think of it, her default voice is probably what Stephen Blum's default voice would sound like if he were a woman.
Has Jennifer Hill voiced young boys in any kind of media?
I'm pretty sure she has.
I'm not sure, honestly. Oh, okay. When it comes to younger boys, that seems to usually be more so Tara Strong's department.
That's what I was gonna bring up, because I still cannot believe that that Tara Strong. Well, I can, but hold on.
Glad you came along when you did. That was a bit of all right flying back there, sport.
The name's Shard.
Right, you hail from
Shard.
the Galwatson tree, do you?
Remember, they explained at the beginning why it was called like that.
Nice. Well, sport, welcome to the Resistance. We'd love to have you come along and lend a talon if you could. As you can see, it's been getting a bit hairy around here of late.
Well, don't you mean February?
Nah.
Alright, I think it's this one, the next one. Yeah, the chapter kind of ambush you with, if I recall correctly, what I'm about to say.
Good, Glaucs.
Yes,
The pure ones are on the
okay.
attack. They're almost upon our headquarters. There's no choice.
Just like with the Iron Man game. You know what this kind of game needs, guys?
Headquarters is under attack.
An escort. Actually, no, it's not now. It's more later. But for the time being, you need to protect the headquarters from the pure ones. So go on in the meantime, Pedro.
Because when I later found out, when I via the internet, that Tara Strong voices the big brother in Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, I was like, wait, that's Tara Strong? Because I couldn't even. Because no, remember, this was back in the early 2000s that I found that out. Before, you know, now of course it's a no-brainer, but back in the early 2000s, this wasn't still like well known from her. So I was like, wait, what? I couldn't even recognize her, to be honest with you.
Believe it or not, before her animated stuff, Tara Strong did have a pretty hearty live-action film career, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's because, remember, at the time, she was mostly known in Cartoon Network for playing Bubbles in Pop-Pop Girls. You know, and to go from that to that dude, it's such a different role, like, that it really shows how much of a versatile actress she is.
She went from playing Bubbles to freaking Raven, like...
That too, yeah. That too, yeah.
Different.
Well, with Raven, that's more like... okay, in general, it tends to be easier for them, I'll argue, because, like, there's one thing I will say that... there's very few actresses that I've seen, voice actresses specifically, that can definitely disguise the fact that they're women voicing little boys. Tara Strong can actually convince me that it's an actual boy voicing that kid. Whereas, and I know that this ticks off a lot of people when I say this, whereas Veronica Taylor very rarely managed to not distract me. Oh, that's clearly a woman voicing a boy. Like,
didn't you mention that it's something that happened also to Tails at some point?
Oh well, no. Amy Pallant. I'm sorry.
Amy Pallant's
I'm sorry. Amy Pallant sucks as Tails.
Their mother.
Sorry.
No. Okay, it's not that she sucks as Tails, but everyone and their mother thought. Well, everyone and their mother could tell that was a woman voicing Tails, to the point where some people even thought that Tails was a girl.
Whereas Colin Villard and even Kate Higgins, they're absolutely brilliant.
Oh no! What bad luck! Lightning happened to strike our tree!
God is not pleased with these owls. Yeah, we need to save the owlets. Okay.
Somebody think of the children!
Okay, I think it's now. Yes, yeah, you know what this game needs, guys? An escort mission. And a very, very painful one at that. Basically, now the Resistance was gonna try to take away the outlets from the burning tree, and of course the pure ones will always stalk on the stay behind them and stalk them. So it's your job to try to defend them. Problem, you're just one with your wingmen, and you need to defend a lot from all sides. But yeah, this is just painful for the fact that you're only one person, one element, defending literally from all sides. It's literally like that mission in Iron Man, we need to defend the building from literally every side. It's just, no. I need to try again, but I never got like a gold medal on this. It's just way too painful. And again, it's literally out of nowhere, and a mission like that never comes up in the movie ever again after this. So what the fuck happened with these Crow Studios? Anyway, almost there, Liz.
Another good example that I can bring up is the one that we all have ragged on for a long time in this channel, Lana Minella playing Luke. So, whereas Maria Darling is absolutely perfect.
The carrier team is lost to us. We need to be strong and protect the others. More carrier teams have evacuated the base.
But no, there's also the thing.
Back to the base and help transport them to the new headquarters.
Sorry, go on, Pedro. Mention later.
Well,
wait, you were talking about the escort mission too?
I forgot for a second what I was about to say, but now I can. Basically, you can lose some of the things with the carriages, with your escort, with your protecting. But if you lose all of them, of course, it still counts as a game over. You need to restart the mission from the beginning. So again, it's super frustrating. And again, it's the only case in the entire game where the game becomes like this level of frustrating. It's like smack me like dab in the middle for some reason. Anyway, go on, Pedro.
No, I was about to finish. Like, it's one of those things where, to me, very few voice actresses actually managed to really not make me notice. Because I guess I have definitely a year for it, because I can almost always tell when it's a woman, but unless the voice actress is especially great at it. Like for example, I'm actually one of those nuts that actually prefers Ash's current voice actress actually over Veronica Taylor. So.
Let me see. I'm checking Jennifer Hale's super vast career to see if there's any kind of exception to her usual casting, but no. She has voiced mostly female characters, so again, I get the idea it's mostly just a case of, even if there is, it's more like an exception than, you know, an occasional difference.
Want a woman to voice a boy, get Tara Strong. Want a woman to voice almost anything else, get Jennifer Hale.
It's an ambush! The carriers are under attack!
I will argue can also get Christina V for a lot of that stuff as well, because Christina.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna say I've been watching Hunter x Hunter and she voices a boy in that.
Yeah, Christina V is amazing as well. Like, she's actually, I will argue she's very underrated still, because people don't recognize her as much as they do Hale and Strong. And I generally believe she's on the.
Christina V was starting to get up there.
Well, yeah, with Ladybug, fortunately, with Miraculous Ladybug, fortunately now she's starting to become much more well known by the younger generation. Ironically, that's the ironic thing, Joe. Right now, most fans of her right now are actually younger kids instead of us, the nerds who should know these things, you know. But Christina V, I will argue, is definitely on that level, on the same level as Tara Strong and Jennifer, because she's so great. I love Christina V.
Yeah.
After Rusty Taylor sadly passed away, she took over voicing young Donald Duck in the recent DuckTales cartoon.
They won't stop moving without you near them to keep them safe. Get back to the base and help transport them to the new headquarters.
Also, I checked here. Apparently, Jennifer Hale did like uncredited, not credited, but you know, like an unspecified voice in Paranormal Activity 4. I don't remember that one having any external voices. It's really not.
Maybe it was a character in a video game played on the Xbox One in that movie.
Dwebs, you probably.
I guess it might have been.
Dwebs, you might know maybe, like, as Erica Harlacher voiced the boy in any media at all.
Yes, also in Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, there you go then. Because Erica Harlacher is also another fantastic voice actress, actually. Like,
because that's the thing. Out of the 4 main characters I've seen in the show so far,
we know Byroni.
Yeah, all 4 are male. 3 of them are voiced by a woman. The other one's Erica Mendes voicing Gone.
Yeah, that's another. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, Erica. So, but hold on to it. So let me get this straight. Hunter x Hunter has Christina V, Erica Mendes, and Erica Harlacher. So basically, it's a Fair Fencer F reunion.
Pretty much. And in case you're wondering, the other character's voiced by Matthew Mercer.
Oh, but I'm not. He was also in Fair Fencer F as Apollonius. So yeah. Please tell me KG Tong is in it as well.
I'll have to check behind the voice actors.
Oh, by the way, Pedro, I sort of figured out why we haven't really been getting new Neptunia games from Compile Heart. Fallon Arts clued me in on it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Apparently the reason that they haven't really given any new mainline Neptunia games is like, well, to them, Neptunia Free is kind of like their Final Fantasy VII of sorts, as in like, well, the one that they can't really...
Okay. It's an ambush!
The one that they can't really see themselves topping, and like, well, in a way, I can kind of get it, you know, an artist not wanting to try and give a sequel that's probably never going to be as good as this one there, because it would end up disappointing the audience.
Okay, well, if that's indeed what, okay, I don't know if they made an actual statement saying that. If in that case, they should flat out say it instead, because I've seen like Yellow Super Nintendo from YouTube in particular. Like I've seen fans still wondering when they're gonna get a V free, or whatever.
Also, I can answer your question, Pedro. Yes, Kanji Tai gives them the show at least twice.
Brilliant! Fair Fencer F reunion!
You're saying to you?
Also, to be fair, Pedro, lots of people on YouTube, time and time again, talk about things without knowing 100% the context. Even us have fallen victim to that.
That's it. Mission accomplished. We've gotten everyone out. Well done, sport.
No, don't worry. Go on, Jova.
Oh, okay.
I believe they did because Fallon Hearts relayed to me what they had said. It just may have been a while ago and lost to time, but yes, Compile must have said that at some point.
They're still delivering spin-offs, I guess, because it makes the money. So
He was with Sedrak Kagura.
Alright.
Okay. With spin-offs, they don't feel as much pressure to try and top Neptunia 3. It's kind of like the Kingdom Hearts effect, where, the numbered stuff, that's the big meaty stuff, but the spin-offs, other affairs and whatnot.
Go on, Tim.
Thankfully, this next mission is much, much more bearable because it's just you having to, as the title mission said, light up a way. You need to take the embers and actually light up the braziers along the way to actually guide whatever remains of the caravan that it's migrating from place to place. So at the very least, there is some levity after that monstrosity on mission. Go on, Pedro.
Great job.
No, I understand that. Like, for me, it's one of those things where I don't know. Like, me personally, and for the record, I only played like a couple hours of Rebirth 1 and a bit of like a couple hours of the original PS3 game from 2010. And the prologue of V2, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, because for those who don't know, here's how the main series goes: Upper Dimension Neptunia, Upper Dimension Neptunia MK2, Upper Dimension Neptunia V. That's the third one that Jova was mentioning, and then the fourth one V2. Yeah, I don't get these names either. But
wait, yeah, okay.
The V stands for victory, in case you're wondering.
Regardless, though, apparently, according to Fallon, what Compile Heart did say was that essentially they don't really want to milk the main series. The spin-offs are so that they can have all these cool and different ideas. But as far as the main series goes, the story has more or less been told, and they haven't really been able to think of a way to top the latest game in the series, essentially. Essentially, they're just leaving it be. By the way, before you ask, no, they have not said a damn thing about Fair Fencer F2.
No, I can imagine that.
Okay. I will definitely say that they should, if they don't want to make that sequel, then at the very least say so, because that sequel clearly, whatever. The point is,
it really is.
That being said, I guess they're telling us in this spin-off, but to be honest, considering the entire premise of Neptunia is to satirize the gaming console market and its different attributes, I do believe the potential only escalates with time. But I guess again they're doing this mostly in spin-offs in a more tongue-in-cheek way.
For me, it's interesting.
I do wonder if. Oh, sorry, go on.
And secondly, it still has been relatively upbeat since Mary's Helter finale, and if I recall correctly, aside from this crossover with Senna Kagura, we haven't announced anything else yet, so...
We'll have to wait and see.
Didn't they have another spin-off coming or something?
I don't know.
Maybe, but I don't know. Honestly, for what little I've played of V2, honestly, I actually think V2 is the one that I've enjoyed the most, actually, out of all of them, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
V2 is basically, gameplay-wise, it's literally a copy-paste. Well, alright, Fair Fencer F is the one that's a copy-paste of it. It's literally, gameplay-wise, mechanically-wise, it's literally Fair Fencer F and Dark Force. Like literally, gameplay-wise, like if you remove all the Neptunia textures from it, it's literally the same game. The exact same combat system, the exact same dungeon structure, the exact same maps. It's literally a copy-paste job, gameplay-wise.
So from what I can understand from Fallon, Fair Fencer F was Compile Hearts' attempt to be able to continue the gameplay style erupted from the latest game of Neptunia, but with a new series. Again, I mean, for some reason, apparently, this is the reason we haven't gotten a new mainline Neptunia game is like, well, they feel that they don't want to disgrace the series with like a lesser sequel, or like, well, they just haven't been able to think of
honestly
ideas. I do wonder if maybe part of that was because they're waiting for the turning of the console generation or whatnot. Who knows?
I don't know, Jova. They just recently released the first ever PS5 Neptunia Reverse. It's a PS5 exclusive even. Here's the problem. Neptunia Reverse is yet again a port of Rebirth 1.
Well, a port. Well, a port. Well, yeah, that's a port. Again, apparently their problem is that they can't think of a way to top it with a new game or whatnot. Again, I'm just relaying what Batman, who's a pretty well-in-depth fan, did hear from Compound Heart, so maybe there's some nuance there.
Also,
But hey, it's probably...
apparently Byroni is actually a bar now. Interesting.
Huh. Interesting.
I'm pretty
indeed.
sure I've seen something more interesting than this, but the main characters were owls. or at least one of them was an owl. Oh yeah, Bambi.
Light them up. Anyway, if I recall correctly, this next mission is about. I think it's about. It's another type of escort one, but a better one because yeah, the pure ones are literally setting the forest on fire, so you need to defeat them and prevent the fire to spread.
The pure ones have been setting fires
That being honestly, Jova, even if that's the case, that still doesn't really excuse the fact that Rebirth 2 and Rebirth 3 have yet to be re-released outside of the Vita and PC. Why does? Why is it that Rebirth 1 is the only one that gets ported to modern consoles?
That I am not certain of.
About that. I got Rebirth 1 and Rebirth 2 recently through PC, although I haven't played them yet. Mainly because I'm not sure my PC could run those, so I'm just waiting till I get my Steam Deck.
Well, you have a PS5, so you're actually better off waiting till Reverse. Yes, that's the name of it.
That's the thing, though. I've also heard from people more versed in Neptunia than I am, and from what I've heard of Reverse, it's basically Rebirth 1 again, reskinned and adding a fishing minigame.
Well, even if it's minor added content, it's still more content. I mean,
no, but we've said that he is already on his own the PC version anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Well, he said that he's not sure his computer can run it.
No,
so...
but he's waiting for the Steam Deck as a result.
Oh, Steam Deck. So okay, then in that case, sure, go ahead. I will when I eventually do get Rebirth 1 and possibly record it, I'll just use Reverse since that's the current best version for as little of an improvement as it was. It's still technically an improvement.
There we go. Also, in the meantime, I found our exception. Like, surprisingly enough, apparently,
go on.
Jennifer Hale voices. I actually forgot about that. Billy Batson in the Flashpoint Paradox animated
okay,
movie.
then.
Oh, that's right, she did.
But
right,
yeah,
then.
I really needed actually to scavenge through this. And I think it's probably one of the very
come
few.
to think of it, she also voiced Billy Batson in Superman and Batman Public Enemy.
Careful, Shad.
No. I check right now and no.
They say that, honestly, Jova, they say that, but I'm still not entirely convinced, even when I hear them say that, because I'm still not entirely convinced that they didn't plan for Fairfan Seraph to become their next big thing, to be honest with you.
Oh, wait.
Remember, back when... Because
no one is denying that.
No,
no one was denying that, though. I literally told you that was actually what they were planning to do.
Oh, okay,
with
never mind. I must have misheard you then, sorry.
Replace Neptunia with that.
Yeah, because remember... Sorry.
Was their attempt to continue the gameplay brought about in Neptunia V2...
So basically...
Neptunia 4, essentially.
So basically, it's what I assumed. Naoko really wants to get out of the Neptunia jail, basically.
Also, yes.
You know what? I can sort of get it. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. Neptunia does have a fan base here and there, but I can understand why, if they considered the series to have reached its pinnacle and felt that they wouldn't be able to deliver with a better sequel, I can get not wanting to make a sequel that would inevitably disappoint people. That said, though, maybe they could try and find a better way to let people off, given how they do still tease with the spin-offs here and there.
Also, yes, you can actually catch fire if you're actually not careful, but if I recall correctly, in order to extinguish it, you have to perform the corkscrew mechanic. Also, this is, if I recall correctly, towards the end of the chapter, this is where I showcase the fact that you do have a special move, if I recall correctly, that you can perform, again, something that you have acquired recently.
It's
It's another reference to the movie. Go on, Pedro.
It's a typical vicious cycle that a lot of developers face, Joe. Like, they want to move on from what is their most famous franchise, but that said franchise they want to get away from is the one that actually makes all the monies. So they can't quite fully get out of it. They still need to have spin-offs so they can sell them off based on the
I don't want to go.
Honestly, Compound Heart still to this day is kind of an enigma to me in a weird sense. Like, and from what Fallon has told me, the games are apparently not as cheap to make as we think they are. Like, no, they do still require proper budgets given their length and duration here and there.
Like, I mean, the most recent game came out just a couple of weeks ago.
Mary Skelter Finale.
Mary Skelter Finale.
Honestly, Joe, even if they do have...
Oh wait, no, sorry, I fucked up. It came out last year. But
That's what I mean. It was actually a while.
But it only came out recently in the West.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jova, if that is the case, it definitely doesn't show on the game itself, in the games themselves, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a similar case to Time and Eternity.
Mismanaged
like,
budget, basically.
Like, okay, Time and Eternity, it looks very cheap, but in reality, it's a very ambitious game. One trying to be, well, running with a completely hand-drawn aesthetic.
Alright, here we go. If I recall correctly, if I'm about to do it now, there we go. You can perform the fine struggle that, if you remember, was at the end of the movie, where both you and the adversary rotate while you're actually falling down, and as soon as the prompt tells you, you have to disengage, which will mean that you actually drop the enemy on Earth. This is basically guaranteed to insta-kill everything that you actually
you got an
against
achievement
it.
called, "Ooh, that's gotta hurt."
Again, it's actually pretty cool, and it becomes a very good utility for later on in the game. So you'll see me using this a lot.
It's a clear case of and keep in mind, when I say this, I'm talking about outside of their hardcore fan base. When it comes to the hardcore Compile Hard fan base, obviously, so I'm talking about in terms of the mainstream audiences, mainstream gaming audiences. Like, because remember, Neptunia is the only franchise of theirs that actually spawned an anime. It's the only franchise of theirs that actually has, you know, a long number of spin-offs and sequels. It's the one that everybody knows, you know. Outside of people, outside of the hardcore fan base, and to a lesser extent, curious people like me, and people who look into their stuff because they're curious and stuff like that, nobody really knows about Dragon Star Varner, or
I think Dark Rose Valkyrie was. I think Dark Rose Valkyrie was kind of making a name for itself, but that's more the exception to the rule.
Go with them.
It's like,
also, go on.
It's like it's especially because, and you can tell that Fairfax was meant to be that because, like I said, because if you go back and you can check Gematsu's articles for that if you want to check for yourself. Back when they first announced the original PS3 version, they announced it from the Neptunia team, and they announced it with music by Nobuo Uematsu, aka only 2 tracks, with concept art by Yoshitaka Amano. Well,
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Amano did design the evil goddess for us.
Oh, he did, Joe. But I'm okay with them using Amano's name. It's just that they only got Uematsu to do 2 tracks just so they can put his name on the marketing, you know. Because when you look at the marketing, it says right there, music by Nobuo Uematsu. No, that's very misleading. The Earthbound Papas did most of the music, as well as the composer of the Neptunia series as well.
For as much as we lambasted that game, I do still feel like they owe at least the people who are fans of that game a proper sequel, or at least an explanation saying we're not making the sequel. Because again, you bother to reinvigorate, bring back to life a game, re-release it, and slightly remake it to the point where you added on an ending that clearly has a cliffhanger here. Like, no, you can't just leave people hanging like that. Unless they're gonna say that, oh no, it turns out that ending isn't even canon. No, that's, no, it turns out it's the evil god ending that's canon or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Consider it done, my friend.
I mean, the whole plunging to your death with the owl thing.
Yeah.
I take it that does take a chunk off your health.
No.
Only if you get hurt.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, instead it consumes a part of your like yellow meter. If I recall correctly, I forgot because again it's been a while, but you can't just do it willy-nilly, and the enemy needs to be at a certain altitude for you to perform it, because you need to perform the whole falling down, you know. So a good strategy is to actually grab the enemy, toss it in midair, reach it, and do it again. Again, the game suggests to do these Dragon Ball Z style of combos where you launch the enemy, go towards it, you know, do it again.
Pure ones are coming.
And then when the enemy is at the right altitude, you can just perform that special move. Also, apparently your wingmen are very shy because the enemy is
For the
armored.
moment, we're out of the
Thank
woods.
you.
If you'll pardon the pun.
No, I
We've got
won't.
to counterattack before they regroup.
Also, those textures.
Oh my god. Okay. Even by the standards of this gen could pull off better graphics than that. So we beat it in 9.5 minutes. We lost one carrier, which was great, apparently. Great. We lost somebody.
Prepare for battle.
Whatever he says. Seriously, it sounded like he had.
It's like something like Tyto's who actually. No, again, it's literally Tyto's voice but with an accent. It's just so weird.
That one didn't sound Australian. That sounded more American Italian.
No, Tyto's was more like.
No. I'm talking about the voice clip you just said there earlier.
I'm guessing James Arnold Taylor isn't that good at accents.
No.
He can be good at accents. I guess it's weird here, honestly.
The closest I remember in doing a particular accent was one as some of the goons in the Spider-Man Noir section in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and even then it wasn't, doing any particular, thick one. It was just a very simple, traditional New Yorkese, gang, mafia accent. So there is that. Anyway, for this next mission, you need to destroy the actual outpost of the Pure Ones. Go on, Lives.
Speaking of games where you do nothing but fly around, have you played any of those How to Train Your Dragon games?
No. Again, I still need to find, considering how they're not credited, they don't give much credit, I still have to wonder, based from the clips that I've seen, if it's James Arnold Taylor voicing Hiccup in those.
From what I've heard, they actually got the.
That's the thing, Dweebs. Again, it sounds dangerously close to him, so I wonder if just the original voice actor just has a similar impression, at least for the games.
Alright, I'll just have to. I'll see if BTVA has anything. Okay, the game. Well, okay, the first.
Doesn't help that if I recall correctly, the first How to Train Your Dragon game is now super rare, so it's very hard to find.
Jay Baruchel does do the voice of Hiccup in the first game, but not the second.
So I wonder if it's that one that has James Arnold Taylor in it.
Actually, no, it's a guy named Eric Lopez.
Oh, I know him. Let me see.
He's the voice of street criminals in Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Brilliant.
Let me see if I can find you a more suitable role for that job, because I do remember. Oh, apparently it was in on the first half of Omega. Cool.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
One less catapult to worry about.
He's also in My Hero Academia.
Hopefully not the shoddy video game.
No, from the looks of it, he's voicing a knockoff of Sub-Zero. Guy named Yu Hojo.
Also, Joe, I don't really remember the My Hero Academia video games being received that negatively.
You know what?
The first one was.
You know what? My curiosity is really piquing. Could you also check if Ray Chase is in Hunter x Hunter?
Why not?
This is fun.
Probably probably a villain, because ever since after Final Fantasy 15, aside from a couple of roles,
Oh my god!
It's like a game. How many voice actors can you stuff in this anime?
After Final Fantasy 15, outside from a couple of specific exceptions, Ray Chase is always being cast as a villain.
Well, he's good. Well, he's good at them. So.
Oh, it's good. It's interesting. It's basically a Mark Hamill effect.
Well, that's an interesting thing. Might as well bring up that topic. A lot of people like to talk about typecasting and all that. It's an interesting thing because here in my country, the whole concept doesn't really seem to exist, because over here, actors, from what they themselves say, like for example, to give you guys an idea, there's a voice actress over here who always plays villains in Disney movies. Like she played Maleficent, she played Lady Tremaine, Mother Gothel, so many Disney female villains, and she herself will tell you, if you ask her on her Facebook page, she loves it. She adores playing Disney villainesses, to the point where when she was cast as Cassandra in the Tangled series, she was like, it's fine, but I miss it.
The same woman who plays Gothel also plays Cassandra?
Yes. Remember, Jova, we prefer having small group of actors playing multiple roles. That's kind of our thing.
Wait. Are you talking about the Portuguese one or
the Portuguese dub? The Portuguese dub. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. For a moment, I thought you were suggesting that it's the same woman in the English version playing.
No. That's
Cassandra as well.
Well, I did say at the beginning, like here in my country, it doesn't seem to exist, implying that's the. But yeah, the basic point is that, and she will tell you, she absolutely loves it, to the point where, and most of the time here, actors don't seem to really mind being what is quote-unquote typecasting, because at least from what I'm seeing over here, actors in general really, when they find a type of role that they love, they just love playing. The whole topic of typecasting never seems to really come up over here in terms of actors, not even live-action actors.
I get the idea, at least for voice acting, it might be just out of necessity alone, considering, again, you have a smaller pool of range, so they have to take what they can get.
Well, I can tell you something too. If any actor in my country is tired of being typecast, he definitely doesn't show it. So I never even hear, and even Portuguese media fans don't really talk about, oh, this actor is once again doing this type of role. No, we over here, we don't really seem to mind really, because we generally think, oh well, he's good at it, so why not? That tends to be the attitude over here, to be honest with you.
For us, it's a mix and match, because it doesn't happen all the time. It's not as much as, say, in an English-speaking country, but it does happen, especially if the quality of a voice actor is not really that great. Like that guy that I kept mentioning, that is the current Italian voice actor for Sonic.
Okay. Dwibs.
Yeah?
What about...
Enemy reinforcements
I think of another voice actor, maybe. Oh, well, I already talked about... I don't remember who voices...
I forgot, was Xander Mobus in Faith and Strife?
It's
been a while.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna check in the meantime.
I'm trying to remember another voice actor from that game. I forgot who. We never checked who plays Sherman. We never checked who plays.
Sherman. Let me see if I can find. Sherman.
We never checked who played Soji.
Alan Lee voices Sherman in that game.
Okay, so is Alan Lee in Hunter x Hunter?
No.
Actually, I have an easy one for you, Luis, because
the streak is over. Sorry, the streak is over. Go on.
I have an easy one for you, Luis, because I'm pretty sure for a fact that he's in there because he's mostly in every single anime. Sean Sheeplock.
Who did he?
Yes.
Senke.
Oh, there you go then.
Also, Robbie Damon, probably.
Oh yeah, Robbie Damon. Yeah.
Yes. yeah.
To be fair, people like, again, Keiji Tang, Robbie Damon, and Ray Chase are part of this new generation of voice actors that are replacing the old ones, so it's fine.
Welcome to Hunter x Hunter / Fairy Fencer F Bingo.
That's
Maybe
basically.
eventually the two will have a crossover.
No.
No, that would require for Reference Ref to actually become a franchise that's actually successful.
Besides-
Sorry, Joe.
Again. For as much as we hated it, I at least want them to just own up to the sequel.
I mean,
Besides,
the only way that could actually no, Isekai Quartet doesn't count. So that's not
Also, Jova, that would imply that the original Japanese company is to care only about the English voice actors, to perform that basis, which
Yeah, no,
literally
it's unfortunately very.
alienate the Japanese player base.
Sadly, it's a bit too specific. We blow up the tower.
Yes. Again, it's interesting to
Forest is
see
free
how
once
the.
again. Thanks for all your help.
It's interesting to see how these owls have this kind of civilization.
Too exhausted to follow, and with too many wounded to tend to, Shard and Bryony felt it best to let the surviving Pure Ones flee to parts unknown. They'd been given a sound thrashing, and would not be back soon.
They could rally up more
Bryony
troops.
bid Shard a sincere
They don't really
thanks
have.
for his efforts,
Remember,
and before he left,
a shard is
he
really just a
also gave him
scouting
a friendly
unit.
word of warning.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if this world is a civilization, I'm pretty sure they have their equivalent of propaganda.
Called the Guardian.
Oh, the
This
Guardian.
bloke's been feeding him info from up in that tree.
Oh, in
Best be watching me
there
tail for
it
this.
seems that the Guardians might have a mole.
Long journey back to the
Uh-huh.
island.
Oh
The
boy.
whole way,
It's Bryony,
hung
isn't
heavy
it?
with this disturbing
No.
report.
Are you sure?
We'll find out who this mole is in one of the next chapter. The game is almost over anyway, so.
Yeah,
Uh,
the battalions look more like little daggers. from their design.
They're supposed to represent more like military medals. As you can see, they're like this tier shape.
Alright.
The design of the mask itself looks very familiar.
It's a helmet. It's similar to. I wonder if aesthetic-wise, considering that movie came out more recently, it was still Zack Snyder. We wanted to reference 300 with the Spartan helmets. I wonder.
Maybe.
Anyway, join us in the next part where we discover the element that wasn't in the movie but actually in the book, which adds a bit more to the Hex Fiend. See ya.
Alright.
So, yeah.
See ya.